Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Polkadot. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below, and also in the description below you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just add mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into it. So there was a few ways we're looking at this, and potentially this is my favorite option at the moment. The problem is we need to just still be a little bit cautious about this shape here. We are looking for potential to still break down, but yeah, for the most part we can argue we have a 5-wave structure here. Okay, so what would we be looking for from here? Effectively, what we'd want to see is a B-wave retracement. Typically, these come down towards this 50% to this 786 zone, which would be this 5489 to this 472 zone. So this is a zone we could actually look to revisit. I've drawn this, so this is just a channel I've drawn just off of 2 points at the top and connecting at bottom, so like a predictive channel. It's basically it's not being confirmed yet, but it sometimes can help us within looking for how these moves might react. And what I would be looking for ideally within this structure is to see whether we get some kind of a reaction like this and actually look to push down deeper, further down into this range. Obviously this channel can adjust slightly depending on how you wanted to draw it. We could also make it slope more from here and then pull it up to this zone, but basically what I'm looking for is the potential to actually have another move to the downside here, and whether we can actually come back into this area. So this would make it neater. However, it doesn't necessarily need to happen. We can also just move away from this point, and potentially we've just completed with a really short wave here. And then that would be looking for either a wave B or a wave 2 if we're looking for a potential impulse off this low. So we're going to go over a couple of those things within the video, so we're going to discuss them, so make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss out on that. So for the most part, what I'm looking at within the structure to the downside, I'm looking for the possibility that, because we can potentially start to count this as a 5-wave move. However, there is also a little bit of overlap in this beginning bit, which is a little bit hard to place within that. So either it would mean that there's another series of 4s and 5s to come, or alternatively what we'd have to do is count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as a diagonal. This is a B wave, and then potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for that 5th wave to the upside. So within this, only really moving, so the typical 3rd wave, if we're going to look at the structure in this way, would actually be up here at this 6817, but we haven't actually moved up to there. So we are getting rejected off that lower range at 1236. So it is possible this could actually just turn around at this point. We do have a structure here that could argue was completed as a 5. And then we could look to break down. However, we just need to give it a bit more time to see. The stochastic on the 1 hourly is still got some potential room for growth. The 4 hourly and 8 hourly are overbought though, as far as I remember. Yeah, so we could be looking for this to start to shift to the downside. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. I think if we do get these couple of moves to the upside here, or one last push up here while this 1 hourly comes back into this overbought position, we might be setting up to actually come back and retest this channel line, and potentially look for this retracement into this zone. So if we're looking at this as a B wave like this, basically we can also throw some of the fibs onto this. Let me get it right on this low here. Let's slide this bit. There we go. So we can see we've actually faced rejection right here with this golden pocket zone. If we do push up slightly higher here, the 702 zone would be quite an interesting area. And then finally this 786 sits here at this $6.83. Though if we do move up to that 786, we'd have to be on the lookout for whether we actually get a 4th and a 5th, because then we would have actually traveled 1.618 of this if we're looking at it as a diagonal, and that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 potentially. So if we do move up to this zone, we'd have to see whether we find support again within this structure here and look to push up one more time. So, but until we do, even if we do push up once here, like I said, until we cross that 6817 area, we can actually argue that this could just be a B wave correction, and actually we're looking to push down one more time for a C. So off of the current structure that we have at this high, that 1-to-1 would actually be down here at this $5.51. So you know that's something we need to just bear in mind. We could actually still see a C wave play out here to the downside, where potentially we see some 5-wave structure come out, and we look to actually take this low point here. Alternatively, we could actually look at a 3-wave move, and this just becomes a bigger W, X, and a Y. We also need to just be aware of the potential to break down from this point as well. So we're going to go over a few of these things. But this would be the zone of support. We'd be looking for this 5489 to this 4722 area. Moving anywhere below this 422 would actually invalidate any potential of an impulse here, and we'd have to go with the corrective structure that we'll be talking about in within the video. Okay, so the other way that I was looking at this move is that the potential that we could be looking for a breakout, because if we were saying that this was a completed B wave here, you know, potentially we can argue that we could have this as an A, this is a B, and then we're looking for a C wave to the upside. So if we were looking for this bullish potential, I don't like how short it is, but sometimes these things happen. 993 would be the zone that we would actually be looking for as a wave, as a C wave, if we did push up here. So if it would turned impulsive, could be looking towards that higher range of that 1373 zone, but there's no confirmation of that yet. So we'd have to see how this would react, and the way we'd want to see how see this play out. So like I said, you know, there is a little bit of overlap within this move, and we can argue that potentially we've completed a third wave here, with this is a 1 2 1 2 3, looking for a fourth. So for the most part, this fourth could be here, or alternatively we still could be forming, and we're actually going to look to push down, where this move here becomes a flat correction, something like this, where we actually look to push down low into this zone here of this 6432 to this 6349. If however we hold this low at, what is this, 6466, we can potentially argue that we are starting this move to the upside, and the typical zone we'd be looking for would be this area here of this 683 to this 674. That would be a typical fifth wave zone, and if we do move up into this zone, what we'd be needing to have a look at within the structure is whether we develop another fourth wave. So if we do develop another fourth wave here and get another push to the upside, then it would actually indicate to me that we do have a 5-wave structure. If we just form this one more leg here, it could just mean that actually this is a diagonal, then we have this as a 1 2 3 4 and a 5 up into here. So you know, there's a couple of ways of reading this. I have changed it basically based on the fact of looking at this as a shorter third wave here. However, if we do just get a fifth wave up here, and then this starts to break down, and we actually come back down and cross these high points of this 626 and this point here of this wave 1, which would be 6154. If we do lose those, you know, then we start to basically invalidate the idea of having this extension here, and then it would just be a 3-wave move, because we wouldn't have that additional fifth wave up to confirm that 5-wave move. If we did move down towards the zone of this fourth wave here, and this 0.382 retracement, that 645, we could then look for an additional push up here towards the $7 range, if we are looking at this 5-wave structure. Obviously, like I said, you know, we've got some key areas here, these tops of these wave 1s, and we don't want it to drop below these 50% zones, which would be, this one would be 634, and then alternatively this one would be 635. So you know, these are sort of key areas. If we start to break down below these, it becomes less likely that we are following that structure that we're looking for here. However, for as long as we do continue to set these higher lows and push up into these target ranges, what I'd be looking for is the completion of this 5-wave move, and then a drop back down for a wave 2. Depending on how high we come here, we'll change this target area, but off of this red box that we've got marked up here, the 640 to the $6.96, $6.09 area, basically that would suffice as a B wave retracement. And what we could argue is that there's potential, this 618 has some potential sort of areas of interest here, with some previous structure. You know, we'd have to see that 50% also, we could argue, you know, up here at the 640. So we'll have to see with the internals at that point as to how deep this can come. But if we do get a wave 2 retracement to the zone, we can be talking about a bigger move up here towards 831 as a wave 3. However, we'd also just need to be careful because this could just be a corrective structure where this forms a an A here. We come up for a B in a 3-wave move. So we form this as an A. We come back down for a B. We push up to that 1-to-1 area, which would be in this case off of our 5-wave box, 748, and then this could still just be a correction where this is a this is a B, and then we look to form a flat and push down lower. So we just got to be a little bit careful within the structure currently. For as long as we hold these zones, we can look for that bullish potential, but we also need to be aware that we could start to break down. If we did see something like this played out, then what I'd be anticipating is basically a 5-wave move to the downside, potentially coming to challenge this zone of this previous wave 4 here. That would be an interesting area to sort of see how this develops if we do continue within this structure and it pushes up in a 3-wave move rather than a bigger 5-wave move. Okay, so that's looking for the potential to have a bullish breakout here. What we'd be looking at effectively with one thing I want to just talk about within the structure, because of how it is a little bit strange, this 5-wave move. We can counter 5-wave move in there, but it is also possible, we could argue that we have this whole move here as an A, this is a B, and then potentially we could say that we have a diagonal like this. And that could just be an A, B, and a C. We could also argue this is a 1, this is a 3, 4, and a 5. The thing is, the structure towards the top end of this is a lot bigger than a lot of the structure down the bottom here. So, it starts to become very, very strange. It does happen sometimes. We get bigger structure, but we need to just be aware that this could be an early indication that we might have something wrong. So, this whole move here could just be a zigzag effectively, where you have a 5-wave move here and then you have an ending diagonal. And then if that's the case, that would actually tie into that idea that we were having of having an additional 5th wave to the downside as a zigzag for a bigger expanding diagonal. They're not very common, so I don't want to put too much weight onto it, but it is still a possibility. So if we do start to develop 5-wave structure from this point, we need to just be cautious because we could actually be looking for that bigger drop to the downside. And if I throw on the breakdown, there we go. As I was saying before, we can argue that this is only a 3-wave move for the time being. It could develop into a 5-wave structure, but for the time being, it only is a 3-wave move. So if this is the case, we can also argue that potentially we have a 5-wave move here into this low, and we haven't taken the high, and we're currently sitting in fib resistance for that. We've come up to the 702, and the 786 would be a little bit higher here, the $6.75. So if we did get, like I said, that one more push up, that would also be quite an interesting area. 854 would be here at this $6.84. What this is looking for is the possibility to actually break down much deeper, and looking for this to actually develop in a bigger 5-wave move to the downside here, off the back of this move. If we did actually push down past this $5.17.9, basically that would push us down into a zone where we could actually start to look for this 4th wave. And what we'd be looking for if we did get a move down into this region off of these current areas is effectively to retest this 382 zone, or up to this 50%, but this 50% would bring us right close to this wave 1. So either this wave 3 would have to extend out a little bit, or we would have to have a shallow wave 4. So this could develop as a triangle, a flat. There's a few possibilities, but effectively we'd want to see a more shallow sort of shape within this wave 4, and it would really, coming past this 382 would sort of be an early warning that we could actually be wrong within this count if we're looking at this move like this. So this is just something we need to keep an eye out. If we do start to actually break down, like I said, we can follow this bullish count for as long as the structure holds. But if we start to break down, start to lose those 50% zones, start to take these wave 1 highs, you know, and start pushing past that 0.78 retracement to the downside, it becomes a lot less likely, and it becomes more likely that we're actually looking to break down, whether that is in either a B, and a C. Or alternatively, we can look at this, like I said, in this sense, where we're actually looking for a bigger 5-wave structure to start. Moving above $7.02 would invalidate the potential of forming a 5-wave move to the downside here off of this current structure. So that would be the invalidation point of this. Okay, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the description. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just add mention member staff will be happy to help you out with anything you may need. In the description, you'll also find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help us out and supports the channel, you know, as well as there are deposit bonuses if you meet the deposit criteria. So check those out with the links below if you don't have an account already. Everyone, have a great day. We'll leave it there. See you in the next one.